Like Mr. Bilankulu, this is a business that a lot of people tend to think it's guaranteed money. But truly, what is the reality behind running a funeral parlor and an insurance company as a black entrepreneur in South Africa? And how did you break into this particular industry?
Lelo, like you're saying, the space of the funeral industry is quite an emotional one. And I think if I can take you to how I got here, I lost my mother, my brother, and my sister, respectively, in a space of 6 years. And as sad as I was, for some reason, when I looked at how we had bid them farewell, there were things that I looked at and said, this who could have done better, or this I could have done better. And I had a dream and a wish to say, maybe we can handle our loved one at this very last moment more fragile and better. And I would have wanted to have a better conversation with the service provider at the time that I was grieving my loved ones. At that moment, I knew that there was a gap which maybe many people might not necessarily realize, to say, this is not just a business. This is a very last touch of fragility and care that you can give to someone that is grieving. And if we handle it in just an everyday thing that happens, you don't realize how deep it cuts to lose your loved one. And I wanted to be a catalyst, or rather a medium that comes in between the process of preparation of a funeral and to allow a family to grieve. Because at some point, we get so busy doing things that, during the funeral process itself, as a grieving person, you're grieving your mother, you're grieving your father, you're grieving someone that you love, and you still are expected to do a whole lot of things. And you can just wish, but you only have one moment to execute a funeral moment. So with the experience that I had and the things that I thought, I realized that maybe there's a need for us to introduce what we call executive funerals in rural area. And that's where I came in. It was a journey that was based on my personal experience and the things that I'd wished to do better. Two, the funeral business is not just a funeral business. It's also a financial service provider, which is an insurance side. When you read on social media, when you read on internet, you realize that there's a lot of gap and misunderstanding, and it comes down to sort of a black and white thing, a culture thing, an understanding of how things are done in certain cultures, in certain beliefs. So I wanted to come in to say, I am a black child that understands a black life and a black culture from a village to maybe semi-suburb lifestyle, because I've lived it. And I can relate to someone from Soweto because I have stayed Kososhanguve for the longest time while I was studying, while I was living there, while I was doing my training and all of that. But I can also relate to someone from Skukune or Haskwati, somewhere in Limpopo or down in Chino, in Venda, because these are my people that I've lived with them. So the journey started right there, to develop a product that can speak to someone who's from my culture, that can speak to someone who also has experienced an upper life in terms of experience, more than just a village life, maybe a semi-suburb or even a suburb life. All of these people at the time of grieving, they've got one thing in common. They need care and comfort. And that's where the product came in, to say, we're going to provide in that week, just 1 week, we're going to provide that gap and ensure that the least that you need to do is to focus on ensuring that you're giving your loved one a dignified send-off and also have a moment to grieve fully while you're executing with us as your partners in that week or in that journey. But this journey doesn't start at the end because the funeral parlor comes at the end. Where do we start this thing? We must start it now in ensuring that our people are aware that there's a need for an insurance. In business, we insure everything. You buy a TV today, it must be insured. You buy an office today, it must be insured. You buy a car today, it must be insured. So is our lives. And that's where the business came in. So it's a very emotional, a tight product for me, a business even, because of all the business that I've done, I have not dedicated my full self into any other outside this one, because this was for me. You cannot drop the bar. The standard has to be the highest, because you're dealing with the most fragile people, you're dealing with most delicate people, and you need to be extra compassion with these people. That's where our journey started.
Yeah. We're seeing more people, exploring this industry, the funeral business and the insurance business. And somebody's sitting right now and wondering, maybe out of curiosity, is this financially sustainable? Is it something that is scalable as well? And hopefully in you answering the question, what was the most difficult moment for you in this particular industry? One that is listening gets to have those two questions as well answered. So what have been your toughest moments, and how did you come about coming with solutions to the problems that you were faced with at the time?
I will relate to a story that was related by the late minister when he was still the MEC in Limpopo, the late Colin Shabane. He says, one moment when he was still an MEC of, I think it's the economic development, there was a guy that came to him, and when he presented a business plan. So his business plan was to say, I want to start a funeral parlor. So when jokingly said, I asked this person to say, when you do your business analysis, where do you think you're going to get your first stock? And this person didn't know how to answer. But I think this is a subject that in our black community, we don't necessarily talk about it much. It's the issue of death, which is the sad reality of our daily life. So at some point, this thing will happen. When you sit and plan to say, this is the business that you want to do, I don't think that anyone who's sitting anywhere where they're sitting, their priority and focus should say, I need to make as much money as possible. Because you're going to deal with instances where you are dealing with the most vulnerable at some point. You're going to receive a call to say, hana ngwana, hana relative, hana motho. You need to come in and be able to be a service provider who does that out of compassion, out of love. So over and above the possibility of business era challenge, there's an element of kindness and humanity in it. The reality of things is that the insurance industry is one of the biggest industries in the country. So there is money to be made. And one needs to say, how do you then make the money? You need to be a fully compliant, a fully registered financial service provider so that you can also be underwritten, because insurance itself, it's also insured. So you don't make money by the people that you are working with. You also make money by ensuring that all the people that you're working with are insured with other service providers. There's bigger insurances that are there that we insure with them. So the money that you're going to make, you're not going to wake up and make money tomorrow. You need to build a brand. You need to build trust. People need to believe in what you're providing. And this is not me and you talking, Lelo. This is people coming to say, Lelo, Ntate Bilankul no Boaliana. We think we can relate to what you are saying, because when we look at the work that is doing, it shows, it reflects in their work. Then that's where people start trusting you. Do you go to reviews on our website and check what are people saying? Are they getting their monies on time? And that is the administration part that needs to be very, very, very strict, so that you don't inconvenience. Remember, Libya like a Monday. Saturday re a boloka. A gona motho a tlomelang next week Monday or a khumane tšhelete ya gae. We must make sure that within that period, the family gets their money, the family gets everything that they've insured their loved one for. And you don't make any mistake in the process. Because, like I said, when you do a funeral, you don't get a second chance. You need to do it once, and you need to make sure that it's perfected. So, whether there's money or not, if you are doing any other business and you're doing it genuinely with honesty, there is a bit of money to be made. But for me, you need to love the people that you're serving, and that is the main profit for me. If I wake up on Monday morning, ka kry family ngwadle message ko groupung ya company or ko Facebook ya rena ba re a leboga le re tshwere ka botho le re tshwere ka compassion le fitike le rena this journey for this week, and we never felt the heaviness that was there. That is the most a profit for me. That is the most touching profit for us. So yes, there's money because of course the industry itself it's supposed to be profitable.